Hi Best Buds, it's Cathy with Cathy's Garden. I'm so happy that you've joined me today. Today we're going to make a junk journal out of Christmas cards. But first let's have our shout out to Lenny, Holly, Jackie, The Electric Cottage, Nancy, and Waste Some Time with Maggie. I appreciate each and every one of you. I also want to make a quick little announcement that I'm still working very hard putting some items over on my Etsy shop. I have probably about 35 or 30 items yet to go. I keep adding more items and it's like, oh my goodness. But I want to explain that two of my items, I got my inspiration from 1924 Linens and More. And it's a 12 Days of Christmas package. It's a bundle. And they're larger pieces, maybe add-ons, things like that. If you want smaller pieces of ephemera, that would come in the ephemera bundles that's what I call them. But these, I have two, and the 12 Days of Christmas, and one is all Christmas related and the other is not. So in case you're wanting something big, you could even open it and distribute it for your gifts for other people. It would work for that. So anyway, pop on over there. I'm trying to get everything on before Thanksgiving Day, so it'll be all ready for you. But I am selling things out of there daily, so if you want to pop over, the link is down below. Back to our video today. We're going to make a junk journal out of our cards. Now, I picked these cards up at Walmart, and they were $2.98 for 24 cards with envelopes. I thought that was great. This one has more of a vintage feel, and they're just Santies that are, the vintage look. So that's what those look like. And then this is more of a modern type look. The Santa looks more modern. There's a red truck with a Christmas tree in the back, a snowy house, red bird, a wreath on a red door, a Christmas tree, as you can see here. So I picked both of them up. Now, I am going to show you how to make the bones of this, how to put it together so that you can decorate yours. Now, this is how I decorated mine, and you can see how it looks once it's together. I put a large sari silk bow here from Crimson Heart Studios. I've got my Christmas bells in red and gold. I have some lace right here from 1924 Linens and More. I have a fabric, a fine little piece of material for my, tell me what this is, for the spine. And I have some flat back little shiny red beads, right, or pearls, I'm even not sure what to call them, gems, I guess they're gems. A little bit of lace and a fabric ruffle, and that's my cover, and I just think that is absolutely exquisite from a Christmas card. So we open it up here, and you can see the ruffle. I did a little tuft of net with a little green bow. I did a little tuck spot with the circle piece of ephemera, a little bit of gold bead, and then I took a card, a journaling card. I put a tab on it, and it just sticks right there. Now here's one of the envelopes. Now I did coffee dye the envelopes before I began. It took it very well. I did not take the envelopes apart. I simply stuck my little sponge brush in here and just kind of painted it on. As you can see, it did really, really well on taking the color of the coffee. So that's right here. And I've got a little washi. I've got some fabric petals that we made, a wax seal. And inside our envelope pocket, I lined it with some chapter 1 paper. And I have some Roxy's Creation Digital. And remember when I had extra gold and I just painted it on? Well, there it is. I'm using it. I have a little journaling card here, so that is what I put into the pocket. I put some of the lace right here on the V of the envelope. Over on this side, there's a large journaling space. We made this little flower in a video a while back. Some more of the washi. I made a little tuck spot with a heart and just a picture of a Christmas tree and a number from J. Lee Lou. This is from the electric ephemera. I think that's what she calls it. I'll list it down below. There's the other card that I used here in this journal. Some more lace, some more of the bling as the holly berries right here. Just a little lace here with another green bow and a cloth ruffle. I made a tuck spot out of a chapter 1 paper vintage cards, postcards, some more washi. I did some tags from digitalcollage.com. That's where these tags came from. I thought they looked very vintage Santa, went perfect with this theme. I did my other envelope with some lace and washi and a December 25th Christmas Day. And inside this pocket that I lined with the same paper from chapter 1 papers, I have some little journaling cards, and I have another little vintage letter, and I simply just popped it right into my pocket right here. So as you can see, you can get an awful lot of things using 2 envelopes and 2 of the Christmas cards. So on the back, I'll show you what that looks like. I covered it in the same paper that I lined the inside of the envelopes with. Oh my goodness, that will find its way over in the Etsy shop, not too awfully long. All right, let's go ahead and let's talk about constructing it. So you've already gone ahead and you've coffee dyed your papers, your envelopes, okay? No, you don't have to. I actually also coffee dyed the inside of the postcard, as you can see here. It's coffee dyed. They are not, well, I was going to show you what they looked like when they're not coffee dyed, as opposed to when they are, because maybe you don't want to coffee dye it. Oh, I coffee dyed that one too. How many did I coffee dye in here? Let me pull it from the back. You know, when I get going and coffee dyeing, I just kind of go to town. There we are. So there's one that's not coffee dyed. So maybe you don't want to coffee dye it. Maybe you don't want to coffee dye your envelope. You don't have to. I was just saying. I did coffee dye the inside. I did coffee dye this. So what you want to do is you will want to decide which one do you want for your cover. Which one of your cards. So let's just say you want this card. So we're going to fold the flap back on itself, and we're going to take our card, open it up, and we're going to stick our card right inside the envelope, just like that. Okay, I pushed it in way too far. I'm going to pull it right back out a little bit. There we go. Now you're going to notice that your card is going to be a little smaller than your envelope, and that is the reason why I chose to put a ruffle there, because it covered up the fact that my card was smaller than my envelope. Okay, so that's how I fixed that problem, or what I thought was a problem. Maybe you kind of like it that way, and maybe you'd rather put your ruffle on your envelope and have your ruffle stick out even further. That's another option that you have. So the next thing you want to do is you want to get your next envelope ready to be added to the group. All right, so what we want to do is we want to take our envelope and we want to stick the flap inside. So sticking it inside our envelope. Remember, we took our first envelope, the first one, and we folded the flap back on itself, right? On the back part of the envelope. This one, we're tucking it inside. Then we're going to open up our card, and we're going to place it inside like this, and we're going to glue it down with the back flap. Okay, so we're going to glue this down with our back flap. So before I glue that down, I'm going to actually come back to the very beginning. I'm going to take this out. Actually, it's probably easier if you have a small container of glue. It's so much easier if you just stick it down inside and just apply your glue as far down as you can get it without ripping your envelope and gluing that card in there. Okay, so you're gluing it in. And remember, I did not place it so far down in my envelope. I gave it a little room. Make sure that your flap is back on itself. Okay, there we go. Now let's get this one glued in as well. So I'm just doing it the cheap way, right? It's not going to come out if you really get some glue in there. It's just not going to come back out. And they're so tight because they're made to, you know, to fit these perfectly. So they're pretty tight inside that envelope. Once I add glue to the back and then I try to get it in, sometimes it just doesn't work well for me. All right, so we've got this flap. Remember, we tucked it inside the envelope. Now we're going to take the back and we're going to glue it onto the flap. Okay, now when we do this, we don't want to just, what do I want to say? We want to just give it maybe a little, like I could put a piece of paper between the two. I don't want a big space, but I've got to have enough space that it's not going to buckle when I fold it. So I'm going to add my glue to my flap right here. Adding my glue to my flap. And then, like I said, you don't want it so tight that it won't fold. You can actually fold it to see how it's going to look. Go. And this is, oh, for heaven's sakes, I did it upside down. Okay, guys. Oh, my stars in heaven. Okay. I put the glue on the wrong side. It won't matter. Don't do what I did. Okay, let's review that because I got even discombobulated. Here's our cover. Here's our flap, right? It's best to just turn this over like this. I'm going to wipe this up because it's glue right here. Turn this over. This is our next page. We're going to glue it on just like that, okay? And this flap is going to be on the outside. It's still on the outside. It's just not upside down this time. Oh my goodness. Okay, just like that. Glue it right on there. Alrighty, so now we're like this, okay? And there's our book. And then what you'll want to do, I should have gotten that one down a little further. It'll be all right. So then what you can do is you can bring in your digitals, or maybe you want to use paper from a paper pad, or maybe you want to use book pages. Whatever it is that you want to use. Now is the time we bring it in. I should have gotten this ready before I started, and I didn't. I apologize for not having that ready yet. So now what we want to do is we're going to want to cover the inside of our envelope. So you can simply mark it and then you would need to trim it. I'm going to mark it just a little bit smaller than my envelope so that I can get it in there. Give this a cut, just like that. And then you're going to place it inside your envelope. Just like that. You can fold it back on itself, or you can just glue it right in. So let's just go right ahead and do it. Just add a little bit of glue here and glue this in. There we go. Maybe you want to add just a little bit more right here at the top. It helps if you don't get sloppy with your glue, Cathy. All right. And then we can turn it back on itself and we can trim it. Let's see. Turn it back like this, and then I can have it like this, and I can give it a trim. Just trimming this off. Here we are. And then we've lined that envelope. Very nice. You would want to do the exact same thing. Now this will dry. You won't see that, and it will dry. You'll want to do the exact same thing to this envelope as well. And then you'll want to do the same thing to the back. And that will cover up this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my glue. Okay. And I'm going to add my paper, and you know I like to put it on and then trim it out, because that way I don't have to worry about getting it on exactly. Now you could actually pull it around if you wanted to. You could do that too. You could make that, instead of putting a piece of fabric, like I put a piece of fabric on mine, because you will see where you have put them together. So you could very easily do that, or you could add yourself a little bit of fabric. So we're just going to trim it, and then I'm just looking at it. Here, I need to trim this. Okay, there we go. Now remember, this is the envelope, because the envelope's going to be bigger than the cover, and that's why I put my little ruffle here. So let me grab a piece of fabric. It's not going to be the right color, I don't think. No, it's not. It's a blue. Do I have one that's a better color? Probably not. Here's a tan. That's not bad. Here's a tan. Okay, and so what you'll want to do is you'll want to just place your, now I would use fabric tack. I'm grabbing it right now. And here's my fabric tack. And I simply, someone's going to ask me how wide this is. This is about 1 inch wide. And I'm just going to add my fabric tack right on here, just like that. And then I'm going to leave myself a little extra room. I'm going to place it right on, just like that. And then I'm going to turn it over to the back side. And I'm going to add my fabric tack right on the edge of this one. And then we're going to fold it over, just like that. And see, so now you've got a nice spine, and you don't see that interactive working of how you glued the two postcards, the two Christmas cards together. You'll have to, of course, let it dry, and then it will be all ready to decorate. You guys, I think this is so much fun. You could even use older cards if you don't mind covering up, you know, what maybe someone said to you. I kind of like keeping what they said to me, but maybe you'd like to do that. Or maybe you would like to get some cards that aren't Christmas, that are just special occasions, thinking of you. Happy birthday. Oh my goodness, you guys, there's so many options here. I do hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I hope that you give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.